Hi, I'm Jackie Rabbit. Today I want to talk to you about coming out at work and what that's like. Remember, give me a thumbs up. Go subscribe, click the bell so you know when I post a new video. Let's go talk about what it's like coming out at work. Can you do it? I know you can. Come on, come with me, let's talk about it. Coming out at work is kind of scary when we think about this. We've been doing this job a while. What happens when people know? Well, let me tell you what happened with me. I will explain and I will help you get through this. It's not as horrible as you think it is. Truly, it isn't. Some places are different than others, but times have changed and things are better overall. Now I know people still have bad experiences, but I will share with you mine. And I will tell you right off the bat, it was a good experience. It worked out. There were bumps in the road, but we all got through them together and everybody's fine now. In fact, it's better now. So let's talk about this. What is it like coming out at work? How scary is it? Well, yeah, I was anxious. I had some nerves. I'll tell you something. I was incredibly nervous when this was all going down, but I got through it. And after I did it, I felt so much better. And then I got to just be me at work. And this is when I was going full time. I had to explain because it was happening. And either I just showed up at work presenting as female and not telling people, or I would just go tell them and do what I needed to do. So the first thing most people do is go straight to HR and sit down and say, I need to explain to you that there is going to be a change and I don't want to be a disruption. I don't want to be labeled a distraction. I'm just doing what's necessary for myself. They're usually very well versed at listening to you and understanding. They might give you some guidelines, but at the same time, just nod politely. And you do what you need to do. And remember, you're still going to be the best you. You're going to be polite and kind, and you're going to do a fantastic job. That's what you're always going to do. So do that. My experience was like this. I knew I was going to be full-time, and I had made this decision. It wasn't just going to a group presenting as female anymore. This was it. I had made the decision. I'm moving on with my life, and here we go. So I needed to tell everybody. So I did the standard stuff, went and told each person independently. I figured that was the way to do it. I had permission to do so. And it seemed like that would be the thing to do. So I took part of one day and did exactly that. A few of the people that I work with all the time were very, very surprised and weren't handling it super awesome. Not that they were bad to me, just that they were so shocked they couldn't look at me. But I did my best and I said, look, I'm just trying to move on with my life and it'll be a little odd, but at the same time, you'll get used to it and we'll move on and everything will be just fine. And it truly was. I remember coming out to the machinist and that one didn't go as well as I was hoping, but it was fine. He's the one that kind of hid his eyes from me, didn't want to look at me. He was clearly very uncomfortable, but eventually was fine. I remember he had the forklift out or something and he was sitting there and I walked up to him and I said, hey, why don't you take 10? I want to talk to you. And of course he's thinking he's probably in trouble. You know, his supervisor's coming over and wants to talk to him. I did explain. I said, look, there's going to be some odd changes that I don't want you to just not know what's going on and think I've lost my mind. And I told him, look, I'm transgender and it's time for me to move on with my life. I will be presenting as female from tomorrow forward, and it won't be a monster change, but it will be a change, and I want you to be okay with it. This is who I am. He did ask a few questions, and I answered them very politely, and I spent a few minutes talking with him, and then we went on with things. I went and talked to the shipping manager at that time, and he's since retired. And I told him, I said, you know, something's going on with me and I kind of want to tell you what's up. Oddly enough, he guessed. And I was like, I almost fell out of my chair. And I said, wait, how in the holy, how do you know? And he said he just did. He went through all the options in his head and he says, I just kind of figured you were going to have a sex change. I said, yeah, you're absolutely right. Okay, well, do you have questions? And we talked about it. And, he was an older guy. He was at retirement age. And he had some of the typical views older guys had, but he was accepting. And it worked out. He was polite and didn't bother him. He'd actually known some transgender women in his lifetime. So it wasn't a big deal, even if his ideas of being a woman were different than some. They were kind of some of the standard things you'd expect from someone that age, and he was still very accepting. So I really didn't have any trouble, and neither did he, and it went fine. Everything else went fine. The office manager never seemed to have a problem with it. In fact, the office manager kind of like helped me out. At some point, she was sick of my hair. So she said, oh my gosh, Jackie, I can't stand your hair anymore. This thing you're doing with the hairband is awful. So I'm going to rip that out of your hair and come fix your hair and do a little of your makeup for you. And I'm like, oh, all right. And she dragged me into the women's room, and she got her straightener from home. And so she had this hot brush and she straightened my hair and then did my makeup for me. And I thought it was really a lot of makeup. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's actually just like my makeup today. Very similar. I basically do that all the time now. So it was really funny. And then I think it was the shipping manager came in and was like, what are you doing? Where are you girls? And we're in the bathroom. And everybody laughed about it. I didn't get in trouble, but I suppose I could have. But it was kind of funny. And so then I had my makeup done and everyone noticed, and I got compliments. I stopped at Jack in the Box on the way home to get a salad. You can get salads at Jack in the Box. And they're really good. And I didn't have a kitchen at the time, so that was my dinner, was a salad. And the girl at the window who'd been seeing me kind of go through things, don't know if she ever really knew it was me. Maybe she did, I don't know. Saw my makeup and was like, wow, you look really good. You look fantastic. I love your makeup. And the eyes were dramatic. They might have been more than this. I think they may have been thicker in the wings and stuff, but she liked it. And I got a positive compliment. And from that day forward, I decided I don't have to go super subtle. I don't have to just try to do a little bit so nobody notices. I'm me, and I'm going to be me. And it doesn't matter what stage I'm in, because this is temporary. This will all pass. And eventually, I will be me all the time, period, end of story. And here I am, right? This is me. And it really wasn't that long ago that I came out at work. It was over a year ago. But that's a short period of time, isn't it, in the scope of your life? That period of time goes by faster than you might think, even though sometimes it does feel like it's dragging on. That was my pretty much experience, and it was positive. It has changed over time. I talked with some vendors. They're all just fine with me. At first, they were polite and didn't know what to do about it. I'm sure there was water cooler talk in the industry about me, but everybody was very polite. There were times when customers would come that hadn't been to the shop for a while, and they were looking for the old hymn, and I took their accounts and helped them out. And I did lose customers. Sometimes they thought that Jackie was probably okay and maybe capable, but they really wanted that person who knew their job so well to take care of it. And they just didn't have confidence in Jackie. Unfortunately, that's just sexism. Has nothing to do with me being trans. And women face that all the time. I could definitely vouch for that. It is harder getting the work sometimes as a female. And there are times when actually it helps. I was getting through gatekeeping, talking to the girls that were the gatekeepers in order to get to the buyers. Sometimes that's actually quite the advantage. So you can get through this. If you're considering this and work is your big hurdle, or one of them, it can be done. In fact, this is one of the places that's probably going to be more accepting and tolerant because they need to be. If they're not, and they fire you outright, that could be a problem for them. These days, there are laws in place. And while I don't want to recommend immediately thrashing anyone that gives you trouble, there are some recourse options for us, and some people do exercise them. Don't hesitate to be you. I understand your fears. And I can hear you. I can hear you. Jackie, this is really tough. I don't know if I can do it. I've been male for this many years, and this is the hardest thing I've ever done. Quite possibly you're right. But do it. You can do it. I did it. My goodness. I'm the biggest chicken on the planet. I did it. I know you can do it. And once you do, it's one less thing to hurdle. There will come a time when you're done. And you're just you. Start as fast as you can. That's my best advice. Don't wait. If I could go back in time and talk to myself, I would tell myself, don't wait any longer. Move forward. Don't hesitate. It'll be okay. So that being said, just know that I really care how you're doing through this whole thing. I want you to think of me being there with you, right behind you, on your left shoulder, just kind of there, present, while you come out at work. Knowing that I understand, I've been there. I'll be the Jiminy Cricket, so to speak. Maybe the Jenny Cricket. But at the same time, you can do this. I know you can. I know you can. I've been through it. It can be done. There's another side to this. You might decide you really want a new career. Maybe it's time to do something absolutely new with your life. People do have multiple careers as they go through their lives these days. And I'm going to do that too. In fact, I just had a conversation with somebody, and I said, I think I'm completely done doing what I've done most of my life. I know what I want to do, and I'm going back to school. And I'm so excited to move in that direction. So you never know how things are going to shake out. I want you to take care of yourself. Get through this. And I know staying at home, some of you won't be able to come out at work. Right now, a lot of people are sheltered in place. And they're stuck. They can't come out. But you can be you at home. And I know a lot of you have told me that you're doing just that. You're at home, so you're you. Fantastic. Make this the opportunity. Make this the time. Come back, go to HR, and be you everywhere, all the time. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye. Our machinist used to ask me to hire someone to help him all the time. And he said, get a girl with big boobs. That would be fantastic. So when I came out to him, I said, hey, the good news is that assistant you wanted with big boobs, I don't have to hire anyone.